What if taking care of yourself actually helped you show up better for everyone else? I'm Janet Jacks, Coach Janet J, and this is your next best step. This podcast is about real doable shifts that help you breathe easier and move forward one step at a time. If you've been carrying the weight of too much for too long and waiting for things to calm down before you start caring for yourself, this is your sign. The time is now. Let's begin where you are. You were made for more than just surviving. It's the beginning of December, and you're already dealing with energy drains that are specific to this time of year, and most of them are invisible until you name them. Let me guess where you are right now. You woke up tired. You've got a to-do list that keeps growing. You're managing everyone else's expectations and emotions. You're spending money you may or may not have. You're trying to create magical moments while running on fumes. And there's this constant low-level anxiety humming in the background. Sound familiar? The American Psychological Association reports that 89% of adults experience increased stress during the holidays. Here's what they don't tell you. It's not the holidays themselves that drain you. It's the specific things you're doing or carrying that are acting like holiday energy vampires. And until you identify what's actually draining you, you can't protect your energy. Isaiah 40 says something powerful. He gives strength to the weary and increases power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Does it say stop being tired? Nope. It says God gives strength to the weary, which means acknowledging you're weary is the starting point for renewal. Here's the thing. You can't just pray for more energy and keep doing the same draining things. God gives you strength, but you also have to protect that strength by being strategic about what drains it. Today, we're doing an energy audit. We're going to identify the specific December energy vampires sucking you dry so that you can make strategic choices about what to eliminate, delegate, or change. Let me walk you through the 5 biggest energy vampires specific to December. As I go through these, notice which ones resonate most with you. Vampire number 1, the performance pressure. This is pressure to make everything look perfect, feel magical, be Pinterest or Instagram worthy. You're not just hosting dinner, you're producing a performance. You're not just buying gifts, you're curating an experience. You're not just decorating, you're creating a backdrop for memories. Research from Stanford shows that social comparison, which is rampant on social media during the holidays, increases cortisol levels by 21%. Every time you see someone else's perfect Christmas and compare it to yours, you are literally stressing your body. The energy drain happens because perfectionism requires constant vigilance. You can't just make a meal. You have to make it Pinterest worthy. You just can't wrap gifts. They have to look professional. Here's the truth. Nobody remembers perfect. They remember present. Your kids will remember you laughing with them, not whether the table settings matched. Your family will remember feeling loved, not whether you made 12 kinds of cookies versus 3. Vampire number 2, the emotional labor load. This is the invisible work of managing everyone else's feelings, expectations, and needs. You're not just planning Christmas. You're managing an in-law's disappointment that you're not hosting this year. You're not just buying gifts. You're trying to predict what will make everyone happy. You're not just making dinner. You are navigating everyone's dietary preferences, hurt feelings about past holidays, and complicated family dynamics. Research shows that emotional labor, managing others' feelings, depletes your glucose levels faster than cognitive work. In other words, dealing with your sister's drama takes more energy than writing a complex report at work. And women carry a disproportionate amount of emotional labor during the holidays. You're the one remembering birthdays, managing family tensions, making sure everyone feels included. This is exhausting. And it's largely invisible, which means nobody really appreciates how much energy it takes. Vampire number 3, the financial stress. Even if you can afford it, spending extra money can create stress. Research from the Journal of Neuroscience shows that financial stress activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Every purchase, every budget calculation, every decision about how much to spend on whom. It all adds up. And the holidays come with unique financial pressures. Gifts for more people than usual, travel expenses, special foods and entertaining costs, pressure to keep up with what others are spending, guilt if you can't afford what you think you should provide. Even if you're financially comfortable, the mental load of tracking spending, comparing prices, and making financial decisions is draining. Vampire number 4, the recreating or avoiding of the past. This one is sneaky. For some of you, you are exhausting yourself trying to recreate the perfect Christmases you remember from childhood. You are trying to give your kids or family what you had or what you wish you had. For others, you're exhausting yourself trying to avoid repeating painful patterns from your past. You are hyper-vigilant about not letting this Christmas be like one of those Christmases. Either way, you're not actually present in this December. You're trying to control the past or future, which is impossible and exhausting. Vampire 5, the open loop overload. This is having too many unfinished tasks circling in your brain. Research shows that having too many mental loops, things you've committed to but haven't completed, increases cortisol by up to 48%. And December is full of open loops. Gifts you haven't bought yet, cards you haven't sent, decorations you planned to put up, events you said yes to but haven't put on your calendar, meals you promised to make, people you need to call back, thank you notes you owe from last year. Every single one of these sits in your brain, taking up space and energy, even when you're not actively working on them. Your brain is like a computer with 47 tabs open. No wonder you're exhausted. Okay, now let's do that actual audit. I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper or your notes app and do this with me. Step 1, identify your top 2 energy vampires. Which of those 5 energy vampires resonated most? Pick your top 2. Maybe it's the performance pressure and emotional labor. Maybe it's the open loop overload and financial stress. Maybe it's recreating the past performance and pressure. Write down your top 2. Step 2, list specific examples under each of your top 2. Write 3 to 5 specific examples of how this shows up in your life right now. For instance, if performance pressure is one of yours, maybe it's elaborate table settings I saw on Pinterest, or feeling like I need to decorate every room. Maybe it's pressure to have matching pajamas for the family photo, or stress about homemade gifts versus store-bought ones. If emotional labor is yours, maybe you're holding on to managing my in-laws' feelings about where we're spending Christmas, or trying to keep my sister and brother-in-law from arguing at dinner. Maybe it's fielding text from family members about who's bringing what, or worrying about my daughter's disappointment if we don't do certain traditions. Be specific. Name the actual things draining you. Step 3, apply the eliminate, delegate, simplify framework. Now, go through each specific example and categorize it. Can I eliminate it entirely? Just not do it. Can I delegate this to someone else? Ask for help. Can I simplify this to a good enough version? Lower the standard. For example, the elaborate table settings. Maybe eliminate. Use everyday dishes that go in the dishwasher. Matching pajama photo? Eliminate. Maybe skip it this year. Homemade gifts? Simplify. Make one kind, not 5. Managing mom-in-law's feelings about Christmas? Delegate. Let her talk to your spouse or a sibling. Brother-sister-in-law argument? Eliminate. Set a boundary. If anyone argues, dinner ends early. Be ruthless here. Everything is optional except basic functioning and actual relationship connection. Step 4, commit to your top 3 changes. Circle the 3 most impactful changes, the ones that will give you back the most energy. Write them down again. Somewhere you will see them. Maybe your bathroom mirror, maybe your phone wallpaper, maybe a sticky note on your dashboard. These are non-negotiables for protecting your energy this December. Remember what Isaiah said. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Renewing your strength isn't just about resting more, though rest helps. It's about strategically removing the things that drain your strength unnecessarily. God gives you energy, and He also gives you wisdom to protect that energy. Do you remember back in episode 13 where we talked about the hidden cost of always saying yes? This is that principle specifically applied to December. Every yes to something draining is a no to something life-giving. When you say yes to elaborate decorations, you could be saying no to time with your kids. When you're saying yes to managing everyone's emotions, you're saying no to your own emotional health. When you say yes to financial stress for perfect gifts, you're saying no to peace. Here's what I want you to remember. Saying no to an energy vampire is not selfish. It's stewardship. You are stewarding the limited energy God's given you. You are being strategic about how you spend your strength so you have something left for what actually matters. Jesus regularly withdrew from crowds to rest and pray. He said no to good things to say yes to the best things. He protected his energy by setting boundaries around his time. If Jesus needed to protect his energy, you definitely do. Here are some practical energy protection strategies for performance pressure. Set a good enough standard and stick to it. Limit social media scrolling, especially Pinterest and Instagram. Remind yourself, no one remembers perfect. They remember present. For emotional labor, stop managing other people's feelings. They're adults. Set clear boundaries. I'm not mediating between the two of you this year. Practice this phrase. I trust you can handle this. For financial stress, set a firm budget before you shop. Agree with your spouse or partner on spending limits. Remember, love is not measured in dollars. For recreating or avoiding the past, practice being present in this year's Christmas. Let go of perfection from memory. It wasn't actually perfect. Give yourself permission for things to be different. For open loop overload, write down all of your commitments. Get them out of your head. Eliminate at least 30% of them. Close loops by deciding not this year on some things. Here's your challenge this week. I'll admit it's actually 3 steps, not 1. First, complete the energy audit. Don't skip it. Actually write it down. Second, implement your top 3 energy protection changes this week, not someday. Third, tell one person. Share what you're eliminating or changing with someone who will support you, not judge you. And then notice how it feels. When you eliminate the elaborate table setting and use everyday dishes, notice the relief. When you delegate shopping to your spouse, notice the freed up time. When you simplify your decorating, notice your peace. Your body will tell you this was the right choice. Listen to it. You might feel guilty at first. That's normal. However, underneath the guilt, you'll find relief. And that relief is God's way of confirming you're protecting the energy He gave you. On Wednesday, we're talking about something really tender. Navigating the holidays when there's an empty chair at the table. Grief during the most wonderful time of the year. If you did the energy audit, I'd love to hear what you discovered. And what's your biggest energy vampire this December? Sometimes just naming it out loud reduces its power over you. All right, you've got your next step. Small, doable, and real. If this inspired you, make sure to grab your free 5-minute daily reset at yournextbeststep.com. It's my gift to help you pause the chaos and reconnect with what matters most. Be sure to subscribe. And if someone came to mind while you listened, please share this with them. Remember, you are seen, you are known, and you matter. Be kind to yourself along the way. You are making real change, one step at a time.